Hi guys. I see Brittany and Stephanie and lots of other awesome girls and guys. Erica, Renee. Hi you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm suddenly really nervous. I need some music like Brittany has going on, but I don't want to get sued like people were talking about with her, so it's just going to be me here in the quiet. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Digi Smiles. Oh my gosh. Lisa and Erica and Christina, thanks. Oh, it's going away too fast. Hi from Cali. Oh my gosh, I'm so not rapping or lip syncing. See, I don't have any music. Hi from Utah. Hi, Tara. Oh, this is cool. Pretty crazy, but cool. Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, I think. I don't know my state letters. Eek. Monica. Ooh, Dallas-Fort Worth. That's like 2 hours from me. Denise from San Antonio. Ooh, Karen, I can't wait to meet you either. Indiana. Arizona. Northern California. Cleveland, Florida. South Carolina. Illinois. St. Louis. Keller is so close to me. It's crazy. Indiana. More DFW. San Antonio. Oh, Christina, this is like NYX cheapy matte pink stuff. Russia. What in the world? Hey, thanks. Hey, thanks. Greencastle, Indiana from Vicky. Woo woo. I'm in Wichita Falls, Texas, Monica. Kentucky in the house. Lubbock. Okay. It's noon, guys. Should I start or should I wait like a minute or two, Vicky, to let more people get in here? You'll have to pardon my redneck voice and all my crazy faces that I make, and okay, I see hearts. I'm in my studio. They asked if I'm in a TV studio. No, I'm in my studio, and it's like all around me, but I'm facing a window because I know what good lighting does for a person. So I'm doing my best here. Hi, Leslie. Okay, so I'm just going to go for it, you guys. Okay, so I want to say, first of all, thank you for joining me on Senior Style Guide. I'm so excited to do this today. I also want to say congrats to everybody who made Hot 100 yesterday. I know it was a super exciting day. I've not had the best week, so like that was such a, like I needed that in my life so bad yesterday. Hey, thanks, guys. And I also want to say that I have notes because I'm a human and I tend to get off track really easy. I'm like squirrel. So anyway, I'll do another studio tour another time. But anyway, I do have notes. Why is my neck red? I'm nervous, you guys. But y'all are making me feel good, so I'm just going to go for it. Okay, so today I'm going to talk to you about making goals and being really intentional about, about achieving them. So, okay, so I'm not a person who, like, reads self-help books and, you know, does all this inspirational stuff. Like, that's not me. I'm not crunchy. I don't do those things. So, this concept is a pretty new one for me. So, okay, we're going to do some interaction stuff here. How many of you always say to yourself, like, oh, I really need to do that, and then it doesn't happen? Anybody? Hands, everybody? Use your emojis up in here. So anyway, they just kind of never really, yep, everybody says me. Okay, so I'm gonna, so many hands and so many hearts, I love it. Okay, so a lot of my talk today, I'm gonna use my studio as an example because that was one of my biggest goals last year, and it just kind of happened for me because I feel like I did these things that I'm going to talk about today, and came together so much faster and so much better than I ever could have imagined. So I think it's really, really important to, you know, be really intentional about the goals that you want to make and that you want to do for yourself. So last year in the fall, I attended Latasha's conference called Blink, and it was in Scottsdale, and I didn't know how bad I needed something like that, because, you know, I feel like everybody kind of gets to a point in their business where they're really comfortable and they feel like what they're doing is really good. They feel good about their work. They feel good about their business. And I'm so guilty of that. So at that point I had been in business. Well, I've been in business since 2008. So that was last year in 2014. Math is not my jam. 6 years I was in business. And I was that's where I was. Like, I wanted to specialize in seniors. At that point, I was doing seniors and weddings only. I'd kind of stopped taking families at that point, except for a few mini sessions that I had in the fall. And I really seniors were my dream. That's what I wanted to do. I only wanted to do seniors. But I was kind of finishing up weddings, so I was almost there. So I went to Blink, and oh my gosh, you guys, I met so many people. You know how you have friends on Facebook and on social media, but they're like your real friends. You just haven't ever met them. I know everybody has those people. So anyway, I met a lot of those people. And at that conference, and I know this is true for every conference, you hear speakers that you don't really think are going to make a difference in your business or in your life, but those are the ones who totally flip your universe on its head and make you do something different. And I know it seems like I'm getting off the subject, but I'm not. So, you know, when I went to Blink, I met Brittany, who does Brittany Janine Photography and Design. I had been following her, you know, and I loved her work, and I met her. I met Christina Ramirez for the first time. We had been social media friends or whatever. And there are several others. Like, I made such great friends there. But hearing those speakers that I didn't expect to influence me, and going to the classes that I went to, you know, you realize that there's always room for learning, and there's always room to change and to improve and get better. So one of the speakers who like totally knocked my socks off, and I'll be honest, I'd never heard of him before, which I know sounds crazy, but Ross Oscar Knight is one of the most dynamic, enigmatic people that I've ever seen speak. And he made me realize that I need to pick it up. So he was real, he just had a lot of energy for it, and a lot of things he did in his life, like, were to enrich his business. And I realized, and he, you know, he talked a little bit about making goals, and he wasn't the only one. There were some other ones, and I don't remember exactly who it was that talked about making goals, but they said, make a goal. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's walk around the block once a day or get your dream studio. I don't care what it is, but make a goal and write it down on a piece of paper. And put that piece of paper on your computer. Put it in your planner. Put it on make a meme out of it or whatever, a graphic, and put it on the home screen of your phone. Put it somewhere where you're going to see it all the time. And say it out loud. Say, this is what I want for myself. So I don't remember if it was during a talk or whatever, but while I was there, I said to myself, or no, I didn't say it to myself. I said it out loud and I wrote it down. I said, next year by 2016, I'm going to specialize in seniors only, and I'm also going to get a studio. This is totally crazy, and I'm going to start doing in-person sales, y'all. Never had I done or even thought about wanted to do in-person sales, but it became very apparent that I was really selling myself short by not doing that. So anyway, I started saying those goals. I wrote them down in my notebook. I looked at them, and I made it into a physical thing that I could, you know, feel, touch, and hold. Because literally, your piece of paper that you wrote it on is the thing that makes it physical. So, okay, I'm getting off subject a little bit. And then, okay, so once you make your goal, you know, and you write it down, and you say it out loud, and it becomes a thing, you have to set a time frame for it. So my time frame for all this was by 2016. So the funny thing is like, you know, I get back from the conference in November and I go home, and, you know, this becomes like a real thing for me. Like, I'm thinking to myself, I could really do this. I could really specialize in seniors. I could really get a studio. I can really, do in-person sales. So the thing is after you do that, and I'm a Christian, and I feel like praying on things is just really important when you want to make things happen. I know that that's not everybody's belief, and that's okay, but that's important to me. And I feel like when I pray on things, that lets me give it away. I give it to God. And if it's not supposed to happen, it doesn't happen. That whole thing about, closing windows to open doors, or closing doors to open windows, like, I think that is such a real thing. And I feel like if it's not the right time, God's not going to let it happen in your life. But it's really good, it's really good to put it out there, to give it the opportunity to come to life or not. Anyway, that's my story there. I'm going to move on, but so after you put it out there, I want you to like pre-plan days on your calendar. How many of you use like a planner other than the calendar on your phone? Who uses an actual day planner like y'all? I just got this Erin Condren. I know y'all know Erin Condren planners, but at first I was like, that is stupid. There is no way I am getting this $75 planner or whatever. Changed my life. It is awesome because you can see it, and you have to write it, and you have to turn it into something. Like, it's so good to have something that you can see and something that makes you happy to look at, because it makes you excited about what it is that you're going to do. I love my Erin Condren planner. So anyway, I think having a planner is really important for achieving these goals, because you can actually write out your time frame. You can put, I need to, on October 17th or whatever, I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to drive around and look at places that are for lease. Or I'm going to drive around and get a new pair of, or I'm going to go to a store and get a new pair of running shoes so I can start walking around the block or whatever. Like, it's really important to plan days, to take steps to make things happen. If you say, I'm going to do this one day, you'll never do it, because everything else will take precedence and you'll forget about it. Like, let's face it. And then you'll go home at 3:30 in the afternoon and your day's like over and you're about to plan dinner and you're like, I should have gone and looked at some places today. So make a day, make time for yourself to go do this. Like, you owe this to your business and to yourself personally. This counts for business, and this counts for personal goals too. So this, I don't know. This is really important to me, as you can see. Okay, so I'm going to go on. I want you to make a plan and set a complete by date. Okay? Okay, you know how when some people like go on a, start exercising, or if they go on a diet, it's really important to have a friend to hold you accountable. I feel like that's really important with goals too. You can have a friend to hold you accountable, but you really need to hold yourself accountable too. So I feel like when you have dates written out on your calendar, set an alert on your phone. Do what you have to do, but like, make yourself accountable for when you need to get stuff done. So like for my studio, okay, y'all, before I even had like a couch, I had my grand opening date set. Like, I was going to have a grand opening party, and I set the date, and guess what? I didn't make it because my couch didn't come in. So sometimes things are just out of your control. But you know what I did when I found out my couch wasn't going to be in time? I made another date, and I made that date, and it was perfect. So that's what I mean about accountability. It's really important to give yourself a reason to do something, and to do something by a certain time. So, does anybody have any questions or anything that they want to throw out at this point? Because I'm going to kind of elaborate. Hey, thanks for the hearts. I'm going to kind of elaborate on this a little bit and move on. Okay, looks like we're good. I'm feeling the love. I'm seeing the hearts. Okay, so next, we're going to kind of talk about a little bit more about pre-planning your days. I tell my daughter this all the time. Okay, y'all. Oh, what makes Condren planners better? To me, what makes Erin Condren planners better is they are so happy to look at. You are happy to look at your to-do list because it is doggone cute, if I'm being real honest. Like, it is stinking cute. You can personalize your stickers. So, like, I wish I had brought my planner with me. That was really dumb. I should have brought it. But anyway, I got custom stickers made that say senior pictures and premiere party day and pay your state sales tax day. I mean, just it makes it really easy to get excited about the things that are on your calendar because you want to look at it. It's so cute. And you can personalize the covers. You can put your kid's picture on it, whatever. I don't know. I'm not saying they're the only ones that work. I don't care if you get a $10 planner at Target. Just get a planner and get colored pens, whatever. Like, do what you got to do to make it cute and make you want to look at your calendar instead of being really intimidated by it, which is what my phone did for me. All I saw was dots. So anyway, I'm going to move on from planners. So, okay, back to my daughter. I tell my daughter this all the time. She's a little chatty Kathy. She's been getting in trouble at school a lot for talking too much. Shocker of the century. So I'll tell her, like, nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to change unless you change it. You're the one in control of your actions, so you have to change it. The same thing applies to this. Nothing is going to happen for your goals unless you make them happen yourself. Like, you can't say... You can't blame your inactivity on somebody else. You actually have to take it by the reins and do it yourself. So, I mean, I know self-motivation is not an easy thing for everybody. So, at that point, you need to ask for help. And I think you can't be afraid to ask for help, y'all. Like, I know people like to do things themselves. I'm a control freak. I like to handle everything on my own because I feel like it's going to get done the way I want it to if I do it myself. Which is cool, but sometimes you just kind of have to give it up a little bit. So, here I am talking about making these goals, and some of them are big goals. And sometimes big goals can get really overwhelming, and it's just too much. Like, it's just too much to deal with. So, I don't know. I feel like it can get really overwhelming, too, if it's something you've never really done or focused a lot of energy on. So, that's why I'm saying ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. So, when I was worrying about accomplishing my goals and getting to the next level in my business after this conference, I felt like, I kind of made a list of all the things I wanted to do to change it, to change everything and to do the things that I wanted to do. And I wanted a studio, but I was not happy with the way my business looked. I wasn't educated on, I'm just going to go into about branding a little bit because I wasn't educated on how important your branding is to your business universe, more or less. So I wanted to do this studio, but I wasn't happy with my branding, and I didn't want to base my studio off of my bad self-done branding. So, I told you I had met Brittany at Blink, so I call Brittany or email Brittany, and I'm like, this is where I'm at. Like, I really need to... I'm asking for help. Like, I need to know what I should do to take these steps, to make everything better so I can get the studio, which is my ultimate goal. So I can do in-person sales. All these goals are tied together. So, anyway, that's when I met Brittany, and she did all my branding and everything, and it was so funny how everything kind of came together after that point because I felt like my business was in a place where it looked like I wanted it to. She taught me how to be really present online and how to... market the way I wanted to and how to, I don't know. She taught me how to be present in a way that looked the way I wanted it to, if that makes any sense. So at that point, I felt confident in moving forward with my studio because I knew what I wanted my studio to look like. I wanted it to look like my branding. And so when people walked in here, I wanted it to look just like they see me online, and it was recognizable and it was already familiar. I feel like if I had made the studio goal before I made the branding goal, that it just wouldn't have looked right, and I would have made a big investment that I regretted because it wasn't, it just wasn't right. So when you make your goals, be really smart about steps you need to take to make that goal come to fruition in the right way before you spend a lot of time and energy on something that's not going to benefit you or your business in any way. So I do think it's important, here I am talking about goals, talking about taking the steps, but you got to take the steps in the right order too. I'm like if I figure out I want something, I want it right then, and I want to do it right now so that so that I can do it. Like, I just get really excited and I want to get it done. But making a plan is so important so that you don't waste a lot of resources getting to a goal that you think you have and getting it wrong. Like, you don't want to get it wrong. You want to get it right. So take the right steps and do things in the right order so that you're not wasting a lot of time on all this. Somebody asked if I can talk a little bit, you might need to repeat it for me, on people who work another job and don't have a lot of time to invest in this. Is that right? Give me a yes, maybe. I don't know. I can a little bit. You know, earlier I said don't be afraid to ask for help. Sometimes if you want to build a business and your energy is focused elsewhere, it's hard to do that. But it can be done if you ask for help. So that's where you need to, you know, talk to your friend. Use social media. Y'all, social media is like, can be kind of crazy, but you have such a broad reach. Hold on. Brittany says if you invest 8 hours on someone, hang on, Brittany, I missed it. It went away. Give it back. If I waste 8 hours, where are you at, Brittany? Tell me what you said, because I know you have a good answer. Okay. I'm going to let her type for a second. Okay, so asking for help. It's really important to ask for help when your energy is focused elsewhere. If you invest 8 hours in someone else to do it for you too. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to keep moving. Outsourcing is a big thing that I feel like is becoming, if you work 8 hours on someone else's job, you have to invest that same time into your job. Yes, that is so true. When you are running two businesses or working in one business and trying to work on, if you're working for someone else's business and trying to work on your own business, it can be so exhausting if you're doing it on your own. And I know that a lot of people work real jobs, you know, like other jobs. Somebody told me they're not fun job. And then they, you know, they want to start their photography business and really get it going. That's really difficult to do because all of a sudden, you know, you're working 9 to 5 at this job and then you're at your, you know, your fun photography job over the weekend. I remember when I was doing that, y'all, and it was when I was shooting families and stuff. I would shoot like 9 family sessions over the weekend and I was spent. And like, so on Monday, it was nuts. So I would say if that's your case, your goal, if your ultimate goal is to get out of that job, then you need to, I feel like education is so important, y'all. I hope everyone's goal for 2016 is, and 2017, is to go to at least one educational experience, like push, like a year, because I feel like that's so enriching to yourself and into your business that you won't even realize, y'all, how much that can change, how much you can change your business that way. When I say invest in yourself, you know, if you're going to, like Brittany said, if you're going to spend 8 hours on that job, you've got to spend those same 8 hours on your job to get anywhere. And education to me is the most important thing. The reason why I was so exhausted with that first job, you know, with my job versus doing photography too, is because I didn't know how to shoot, I didn't know how to edit, and I didn't know how to run my business. So I was wasting all of this time for like on nothing, on editing badly, shooting badly, running my business badly. And I know it's hard to do, especially if you have kids or if you have another job, but I think this is the most important time to make your goals and be solid about them, because you don't have time to waste on not doing, you know, on not going about your goals the right way. So if that's your thing, like, okay, you said ask for help. Who do I ask? I feel like I'm getting my business going by myself. Okay, for me, okay, I'm lucky. I know I'm lucky because I live in a place and we have a really good group of photography friends who a good community where we feel like we can communicate with each other and help each other out. I'm the only specialized senior photographer in my market. So, and like I said, I used to shoot weddings, so I have a lot of friends that are in the wedding industry that that can help me. Finding a mentor that's local, I honestly would not advise you to find a mentor that's local. I would advise you to find a mentor that's not local, because when you start finding mentors that are local, you may not mean to, but you're gonna start kind of emulating them, and that's gonna threaten them, and it could. I'm not gonna say it's going to. It could threaten them, and make them feel like, you're kind of moving in on their territory, and I don't really think that's fair to either one of you. So, if you're looking for a mentor, I would highly recommend finding someone. I actually do have mentorships available in January. You can go to my website, www.devonjimagery.com, and email me about that, and I can send you information. Yeah, lots of established photographers offer mentoring. Amanda does, Stephanie does, Coco and Chelsea do. Like, all these people can do mentoring for you. A lot of people do want to help, and like, I'm a helper. I like to help people, but at the same time, you also have to be respectful of that person who is helping you, and sometimes you have to expect to pay for it. Sometimes, which that sounds wrong. Like, that's not what I want. But community over competition. Her success is not my failure. Like, people want to help you, so please ask for help. The worst they can tell you is no. No is fine. Like, no is fine, y'all. Get comfortable with no. No is fine. But there are people who want to help you achieve those goals that you want to achieve. Somebody else said something in there that I wanted to answer, and I lost it. Seek those that will keep it real with you. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. You do not want a sugarcoater. If you want somebody to help you, they need to be wearing a black belt and keeping it real, because when somebody... What is Push? It's a conference that Senior Style Guide puts on. This year was the first annual. Next year's the next one. It's sold out, but sometimes things come up and people have to sell their seats. So stay tuned to Senior Style Guide for that. And if not, get ready to sign up for 2017. Anyway, yeah, you got to find friends that'll keep it real with you and really help you along if you're looking for a mentorship. Okay, moving on to... I talked about social media is really good for helping. Okay, somebody asked about outsourcing. Editing is good for outsourcing. If you've got another job, you can outsource your editing. They're really good about studying your style and helping you get that down. And a lot of people have a problem with that because they're control freaks like me. I don't outsource personally, but I don't have a workload that, makes me have to do that. But I know that if you're working another job, you can outsource your editing to places like, I don't know how to say it, Rebooku or whatever, Rebooku. And there are others, and like I said, I'm not real familiar, but that's what I'm talking about asking for help. Like, do not be afraid to, edit your 5 or 10 favorite pictures, but outsource the rest, or, hire a brand designer or a marketing person or a copywriter or whatever to do your marketing and your online stuff. Like, sometimes you have to make that kind of investment, that kind of money investment, to take the weight off of yourself, but that'll also in turn help build your business so that you're not, you don't have to worry about spending that money because you've invested that in your business. You're henceforth making more money, and that's, I don't know, it's kind of a big cycle. But if you help yourself and if you invest in your own business, then yes, you will. I know I'm way off subject, so I've got to get back to it. But okay, so back to goals. I want to keep talking about goals for a minute. I know y'all know about Pinterest. Pinterest, yes, maximize your strengths and outsource the rest. That's exactly right, Stephanie. Okay, and it will give your life back. If you want your life back, I know photographers struggle with this. It's like everybody's seen that meme where it's that girl with her wild, crazy light socket hair and like her computer, and they're like, I'm only going to edit one more photo, and it's like 3 a.m. Anyway, if your goal is to get your life back, then start outsourcing right meow. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to get back to Pinterest as far as goals go. For me, Pinterest is like is like my notebook from the 90s. When you ripped out like magazine pages on stuff that you wanted to do. Like, Pinterest can get real kid in a candy store for goals though. Me personally, I use it to plan shoots. I use it to build my house, for crying out loud. It can get kind of crazy. It can get overwhelming. So the reason I say that is because, you know, when you're making goals and when you're on Pinterest planning these things out to happen, you need to be very selective in what you're choosing, you know, that you want your goals to look like. I'm going to go back to branding because that was my major goal. You know, that in my studio was my major goal for this year. I want to say too, that was my goal to happen by 2016. These things all happened by April, and I'm 100% convinced it was because I wrote them out, said it out loud, took steps, and prayed on it. Like, I know that that's why it happened so fast. Okay, so Pinterest. Be very specific with what you search and what you pin. I also think it's really important to be inspired by genres other than just senior photography. So, you know, I know a lot of us kind of get a little bit in like a, I don't want to call it a rut because it's not a rut. It's cool to look at other people's work and like, you know, set goals to get your light to the level that they like, or you like how neutral the skin is, or, you know, there's all these things that you like about somebody else's photography, and you want to set a goal that you want your pictures to look like that. I feel like it's really important to look at other things besides senior photography to inspire you and to inspire your goals. I know me personally, like, one of my major goals last year, as far as shooting and editing goes, is I wanted it to look a lot cleaner. I wanted a really clean look. I wanted it to be crisp. I wanted it to be sharp. I wanted it to be less perfect and more real and kind of in an more editorial direction. So, what I started doing is I stopped following photographers. Yes, Renee, I stopped following photographers that had that look and started following modeling agencies, magazines, fashion houses, all, you know, more fashion and more couture type things that kind of drove my mind in that direction. So when you're looking at what you want your goals to look like, don't be afraid to kind of branch out and look at things that are not on the same wavelength as what you're trying to do, because you're going to catch inspiration from places you never expected. I don't know how many of y'all follow me on social media or whatever, but recently I made a goal that I wanted to start doing a little bit of video in my shoots, because I felt like this was something that was a little bit ahead of the curve. I know I'm not the first one to do it. I know there are people out there that, yes, music videos. I know there are people out there that do some video in their shoots, but I'll be honest, like, I didn't look at any of those videos when I was searching for inspiration to do my videos. I follow like Dior, like Christian Dior and stuff, and they do beautiful, like fashion forward, amazing videos. And like Marcy said, music videos, like, and also, I don't know if y'all follow like different clothing stores that cater to girls the age that we try to serve. Like, I think that's important too. Know your audience. So if you're looking for inspiration to get to a goal, say of putting video, you got to look at video that other things are doing that are in the target market for your audience. So like, I started following like American Eagle and Anthropologie and Abercrombie, and I know that's kind of like old, but like Brandy Melville and, you know, all of these different, I feel like they're lifestyle brands more than just clothing stores, because they kind of, they put a certain feel and a certain lifestyle out there, and I feel like that's important for your business too. So when you're making your goals, kind of get the feel right. You know what I'm saying? You want people to see that you're trying to do something that is very specific to you. So anyway, you know, draw inspiration from other places when you're making your goals and taking the steps to get there. We're almost to the end. I'm almost done, but I do want to talk about following through. I'm going to go back to closing doors and opening windows. Like, fulfilling certain goals may take longer than other goals do, and they may not work out the first time. Like I told you with my studio, the first goal I set, the first finish by date goal that I set for my studio, it didn't happen. And that's okay, because that just means it wasn't the right time. Like, there's nothing some things are just out of your control. Like, you can do everything you can, but some things are out of your control. So be okay with not meeting your goals the first time around. Don't give up. I had this quote on my Instagram yesterday that I couldn't pass up, and I want to say that Laura Jade posted it or something. But anyway, it said something to the effect of some goals take, or don't be afraid of going for your goals because it will take too much time. Time will pass anyway. And I was like, hot diggity dog, like that is perfect, because some of us get so intimidating by a year-long goal or a year-and-a-half-long goal or whatever. A year and a half is going to pass anyway, whether you're doing something actively to make something happen or not. So just do it. Like, don't sell yourself short and talk yourself out of it. Like, just do it. It's going to take some time, but it's worth the time every single time. And if it's not, it's okay. Just move on. It's okay to take a break from things too. Oh, will I say that again? The quote, I feel like I need to look it up, but I can't get off of here. Yes, sometimes having a brick and mortar studio away from your home is not for you. That is exactly right. Sometimes that does not work for everybody, and that is okay. Make your goals be about what you need to do, not what I need to do, not what the girl next to you needs to do, not what the girl down the road needs to do. Like, make it be about you and what you need in your life for your business. Okay, so the quote said something like, don't be afraid to go after your goals or dreams because it's going to take too long because the time will pass anyway. Those aren't the exact words, but it was real similar to that. I posted it on my Instagram yesterday, so I'm at Devon J Imagery if you want to snatch that for yourself. And I did say hot diggity dog, Amanda. Okay, so I want to talk about following through. That's kind of where I'm at with this. Don't give up. Like, take a break maybe, but if you do take a break, be sure and set that follow-up date to where you're going to get started again. Like, write it on your Erin Condren planner and say, this is when I'm going to start back on this. This is when I'm going to get started again. Sometimes you do need to take a breather and take a break and reevaluate, the goals that you've made in the first place and the steps that you've taken maybe aren't working out the way that you thought they were. Really look at yourself and look at what you're doing. Yes, never give up on a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. That's true. The time will pass anyway. Yep, that's exactly what it was. So anyway, you've got to follow through. So take a break, reevaluate the steps that you've taken and see why those steps weren't working, and make a new plan. Start over. There are always two routes to the same destination. So, like I said, keep moving. It's not going to, time will pass anyway. Just keep giving it a go. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Those are the keys to making it happen. I tell people sometimes, like, I'm going to make it happen kind of girl. Like, I'm not just going to sit here and let time waste and not do anything. I make stuff happen that I want. And you kind of have to have that attitude because, it can get intimidating. There's a lot. I know you have a lot going on in your life other than just your business. So that's why it's really important to, write it out, say it out loud, pray on it, and make it happen, because otherwise it's just not going to happen. You'll get distracted by your kids, by your family, by everything else. So I want you to no, time out. I don't want you to do anything. Vicky's going to put this on YouTube so that y'all can watch it later. It'll be on playback on here too. I'm also going to start a discussion on SSG in case, I know that, after these are over, people can't come back and respond or ask questions or anything. And I know that people want to when they watch it after it's live. So I'm going to start a thread on the Senior Style Guide group in case y'all have any questions for me and want to ask any questions about this scope. So anyway, that's all I've got. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope I've inspired you to make some new goals and to get out there and do some of the things that you've really been dreaming of doing but didn't know how to make happen. So Have a lovely weekend. It is Friday, and I am so pumped. So, anyway, love you guys. Bye. Now I gotta figure out how to turn this thing off.